Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you for joining me. Walt Disney, the Disney company, whatever you want to call that company, just never seems to give up in their fervent push to brainwash our young children with transgenderism, this radical transgender nonsense. And what am I talking about? Well, I just found out that there's this new animated series coming out called Baymax by Disney, in which the main character, or one of the characters, is a transgender male character who menstruates. Now, I hope I'm saying that word menstruate right. Last video I was talking about, I said menstruate. But I hope I'm saying it right, menstruate. I mean, if I'm not, rightly so. I'm a male. I don't menstruate, or men are straight. I don't do that. So I don't need to be able to practice how good it sounds. Or pronounce it right. I don't do that. But anyway, let's get into this article, because they have a purpose, they have an intention, they have a motive, they have a plan, they have a vision, and they're going to push it. So let's see what's going on here, right? Let's get into this article. And the article says, in Disney's latest effort to smuggle transgender ideology into its entertainment for kids, the new animated Disney Plus series Baymax, that's what it is, Baymax, features a transgender man who menstruates and gives advice on which who menstruates and gives advice on which maxi pad to buy. Quote, the one with wings. You cannot make this stuff up. The article goes on to say Baymax, which begins streaming Wednesday on Disney Plus, follows the adventures of the balloon-like robot from the 2014 movie Big Hero 6. I never heard of it. Never heard of that. Who was on a mission to serve as Good Samaritan to the residents of the fictional city San Francisco, whatever that's supposed to be. The transgender character appears in episode 3 titled Sophia, in which Baymax assists a 12-year-old girl who experiences her first period. This is terrible. This is just absolutely terrible, man. They're spending all this money on this kind of ideology. Something demonic is going on here. Man, if you can't see Satan or demons in this, I don't know what to tell you. You are deceived. But it goes on to say, when a mortified Sophia barricades herself in a gender-neutral restroom at school, of course it's going to be a gender-neutral restroom, of course, Baymax offers to buy her, quote, menstrual hygiene materials. At the store, Baymax is bombarded by suggestions from helpful shoppers, including a transgender character who, they have to have that transgender character in there, including a transgender character who is wearing a transgender flag shirt. All this transgender, man, I tell you. I always get the one wings, the trans man tells Baymax. The scene was first reported by journalist Christopher Rufo. And I want to read his tweets. Christopher Rufo's tweet. He says, I've obtained leaked video from Disney's upcoming show Baymax, which promotes the transgender flag and the idea that men can have periods to children as young as 2 years old. It's all of Disney's plan to re-engineer the discourse around kids and sexuality. Yes, it is. It's a communist demonic takeover. I'm going to mention that in the end of this video. The episode concludes with Sophia regaining her sense of confidence and performing at a school talent show. The Walt Disney Company has come under fire after videos obtained by Rufo show company leaders bragging about promoting LGBTQ agenda to young children through the studio's entertainment. Disney CEO Bob Chapek has dedicated the company to radical LGBTQ activism and has promised to continue fighting Florida's parental rights in education law, saying the company will work to get the legislation repealed. The devil is not going to give up. The devil is persistent. Okay? The devil is persistent, but you got to be persistent against him by exposing how evil he actually is. And when I say the devil, I'm talking about the spiritual being, a spiritual being. Yes, I believe in the devil. Yes, I believe in demons. I do. I believe there's a spiritual undercurrent behind this. It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And in part, I believe the reason why it's getting so intensely worse is because of the people that's in leadership positions. They deny God, they deny right and wrong, they deny all sense of morality. So when you do that, you open a gateway to all kinds of demonic invasion. Let's go on. The company is inserting transgender and gender non-conforming characters into its entertainment for children. Disney's Marvel superhero series Loki, L-O-K-I, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but some of you may know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what this is. Recently revealed that its title character is, quote, gender fluid. And that's the end of that article right there. Look, I said I was going to say this, mention this, but I talk about communism a lot in my videos. And this is, once again, another attempt by the communist insurgents to completely dismantle this country on all fronts. There was a book that was written years ago. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get that book. I just want to quote it to you. Here's the book right here. The title of the book is Grave Influence. I bought it some years ago, written by Brandon House. Okay. And there's a chapter that he gives 21. He talks about 21 radical liberals that have had vast influence on America and its institutions. In one particular chapter, he talks about Karl Marx, the founder of communism. And in this chapter, he talks about a man who was a FBI agent that wrote a book called The Naked Communist. And this FBI agent that wrote this book called The Naked Communist in 1963 presented 45 different communist goals that the communist insurgents had created in order to overthrow America. And I'm going to read just some of these goals. I'm just going to read some of these communist goals. As a matter of fact, you can literally Google these 45 communist goals according to, right, it's in the Congressional Record. The January 10th, 1963 Congressional Record lists these 45 goals. You can type up Congressional Record 45 communist goals and you will see it for yourself. And I'm going to read just some of those communist goals to you guys. And then you decide for yourself. Based on these goals, some of these goals I'm going to read to you, you decide for yourself if America hasn't been infiltrated by communist insurgents who are trying to destroy this country and reshape it into a communist country. Let me just read some of the goals. I'm skipping some of this stuff here. This is goal 17. Get control of the schools. Use them as transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Get control of teacher associations. Put the party line in schools. Goal number 20. Infiltrate the press. Get control of book review assignments, editorial writing, policy making positions. Goal number 21. Gain control of key positions in radio, TV, and motion pictures. I'm going to go to goal 25. Goal 25, break down cultural standards of morality by promoting pornography. This is 1963. By promoting pornography and obscenity in books, magazines, motion pictures, radio, and TV. Goal number 26. Present homosexuality, degeneracy, and promiscuity as, quote, normal, natural, healthy. Goal number 27. Infiltrate the churches and replace revealed religion with, quote, social religion. Discredit the Bible and emphasize the need for intellectual maturity, which does not need a, quote, religious crutch. Goal number 28. Eliminate prayer or any phase of religious expression in the schools on the grounds that it violates the principles of separation of church and state. This was in 1963 that when these 45 goals, communist goals were written. Sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Now, in my personal opinion, I am convinced based on just some of those goals, and those are just some of the goals, because I've read quite a few books on communism and how it's infiltrated institutions. But I am thoroughly convinced that this godless worldview of communism and these ideologies have infiltrated every institution and is bit by bit breaking it down. Breaking down the moral sense of right and wrong. And this situation with Walt Disney, if they're not communists, they're communist sympathizers. And I don't need to really explain to you what a communist sympathizer is, because I'm pretty sure you know what that is. Someone who sympathizes with the ideology and worldview of communism. They think it's a good thing. And this is clearly an attempt to promote degeneracy, according to that goal, to promote homosexuality and degeneracy as what? Normal. They're trying to normalize this kind of sexuality by promoting it in such a way that it's positive and demonizing heterosexuality. So what's the way? How do you defeat this? In my opinion, those of us that know the power of prayer, we need to stay prayerful and need to keep praying. But y'all know me, I'm not just going to talk about prayer. We need to act. And how we act, we expose them. But not only do we expose the darkness of what they're doing, but we also don't finance them. I believe that we should tell our children, and don't make the assumption that our children know, but I believe that the parents should teach their children of what's being done, what these people are trying to attempt to do to them. And they need to sit and talk to them and say, son, daughter, this is evil. This is what they're doing. And I'm giving you my standards. And they need to tell them, look, this is wrong. This is wrong. It's unnatural. There are some very evil people out there that want to twist your mind and corrupt you. They need to be told these type of things and not entertained throughout life. Because if we allow the children to be entertained throughout life, we come home from work and we don't pay attention to I'm just giving you guys my opinion, and we don't pay attention to what our children are doing and watching and listening to, and then we wonder why they're acting so rebellious. We wonder why they're acting the way they're acting. Could it be that they're pumping their heads full of this nonsense by Walt Disney? Could it be that their heads are being pumped full of rebellious ideologies from their school teachers? I purport to you, yes, 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 it could be. And it has been for decades. But now it's trumping up. It's getting worse and worse and worse, because I personally believe that these liberals and these far left radicals are losing ground. They're desperate. The good news is, and this may sound odd, the good news is that they're losing ground. I'm seeing Republicans taking over everywhere, because these far left, the Democrats have went back crazy. They have went back crazy. No one is supporting what they're supporting. No one. But they support this demon stuff. They support this evil stuff. And people who got sense, people who have a sense of morality, a sense of right and wrong, are saying, regardless of whether they're Democrat or Republican or independent, they're saying, man, this is evil. I'm not going to support this. I'm not going to vote for this. I don't want this for my children. We still have control, regardless of what we see. As voters of this country who have a brain to think, we still have some semblance of control. And that control is manifest when it comes time to vote. That's what it's all about. It's manifest when it comes time to vote. Pray, but vote right. Pray, but know the policies of the people you voting for. Because if you don't want those kind of values for your children, and you don't want those kind of values for yourself, and you don't want those kind of values for this country, you will not vote that way. And I know I'm fervent about this, but that's just my stance on it. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. God bless you all, and see you again on another Black Conservative.